last week when there were just a few titles, like maybe 10, well this week they have decided to back up the truck and we're getting a whole bunch of YAs. This week's releases on New Release Tuesday are only for November 13th. It's the only day of the week that they're doing releases this time around, so you have that to look forward to, just one day of a lot of books instead of 2 days or so with a lot of books. And this time, I'm gonna give it a little dramatic flair. Black City by Elizabeth Richards, and this is about a time after the war in which that's still a lot of dark times, but there's a love story tangled in. Renegade by J.A. Souders, and this is about a girl who is living in an underwater utopia until the day that she meets a surface dweller, and she and he decide that they want to escape. Truancy City by Isamu Fukui, and this is the second book in the series in which the truants and the teachers must align. Misfortune Cookie by Lauren Borkman, and this is about a young blogger who decides to dole out advice, and then it kind of gets a little crazy when her ex-best friend decides to take that advice, and it leads to a lot of trouble and a lot of, like I said, crazy. My Beautiful Failure by Janet Ruth Young, and this is about a boy who he volunteers at a suicide hotline and then falls in love with a female caller. Off Course, an A-Circuit novel by Georgina Bloomberg and Catherine Hapka about a group of girls who are into horse competitions. Reach by Ali Condi, this is the third and final installment in the Match trilogy, and this series is about a girl who has escaped her dystopian society. Being matched with the wrong guy was just the start. Witch World by Christopher Pike, and what happens when your boyfriend dumps you only to find that he did so because he can open a portal to the witch world. Bad Hair Day by Carrie Harris, and this is the second book in the Kate Grable series in which this girl is shadowing under the medical examiner even when he is on trial for murder. There's also this paranormal spin to the series, and so the first book apparently had some zombies which she took care of, and then this one has a question about some werewolves. Under the Bridge by Michael Harmon, and this is not about trolls. Who knew? This is actually about these two brothers, and the older brother has to kind of convince the younger brother to come home. They are living in Spokane. It doesn't specifically say where that is, but apparently it's a rough place to grow up, and so Tate is having to tell his younger brother, hey, please come home. I really don't want you to be out there and live that kind of life. I want something better for you. Fitz by Mick Cochran, and this is about a boy who, his name is Fitz, of course, and his father has been financially supporting him, but he wishes he was more involved in his life, only to find out that his father was secretly living rather close to him, so he goes over to his father's house, holds him at gunpoint, and is like, hey, become more involved in my life. So, sounds like a very crazy, but maybe possibly a little bit interesting, maybe a little bit of comedy, I don't know. Dunno. Meant to Be by Lauren Moreland. This is one of my favorites of the week, definitely. It's about this girl who goes off to London, and it kind of asks the question, like, what if the class clown is actually, you know, a lot more than what you think he is, and what if the guy that you think is you're meant to be is actually a total and utter fool. Sacred by Elena K. Arnold, and I feel like, this book is so big, it's so wonderful. I haven't read it yet, actually, so I can't say too much, but I will try to give you a good summary. It looks like a very big, dark contemporary that I would love because it's about this girl who's, I think her brother has passed away and she's living on Catalina Island. She goes to ride her horse one day and runs into this guy, and he kind of becomes a meddling force in her life, and she soon finds out that he's going through something dark as well, and so they kind of, I guess, pair up and kind of get to know one another, so I'm thinking that it's probably going to be a good book. Speed of Light by Amber Kaiser, and this is the third book in the Fenestra series in which the heat is back on for Meridian and Tens. Also, there is some sort of 500 car race and some other things. I feel like it's a mix of paranormal and real life kind of stuff, maybe like an urban fantasy. I'm thinking might have a little bit of Buffy feel to it, City of Bones maybe. Thinking it might be for fans of that, so there you have that. So that is all for this week. I hope you enjoyed this New Release Tuesday and that you have some good new books to go pick up now, because I know I do.